Now, your forecast first, brought to you by OSF On Call Urgent Care. Online anytime, 24/7.
Good evening. I'm your local weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates. We continue to track severe thunderstorms now moving through Livingston County. We have an ongoing tornado warning until 10:15 p.m. for northwestern Livingston County. A well-defined hook echo here just off to the northwest of Pontiac. This warning is in effect for Cornell, Long Point, Newtown, and Reading, again until 10:15 p.m. There's the rotation within the storm. We're also getting a little interference in there, but there's the rotation that we are going to continue to track as it begins to work its way back to the east and southeast at 35 miles per hour. If you allow me, I'm going to time out this storm and when the most dangerous part of this storm is going to be out near Pontiac. That is going to be there around 10:21 p.m., maybe even a little sooner. This is only radar indicated, so we'll continue to watch it as we go through the rest of this show. For now, let's send it over to Paul with the start of the newscast. Paul.
All right, thanks, Chris. A Peoria firefighter recovering tonight after being hurt in a morning fire. A look at what happened coming up. Plus, another group falls victim to the state budget battle, how it's impacting Medicaid and pharmacists around the state. But we start, of course, with the weather. Your local weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates, has been monitoring the radar all night long. So, Chris, remind us again what's going on right now.
Now, we're still dealing with this tornado warning in Livingston County. We have a nice, well-defined hook echo, some rotation. The concern is it going to hold together long enough as it begins to work its way towards Pontiac? No confirmed reports of a tornado at this time. I want to get that clear, although we just buzzed. So we'll see what that's about. But we are seeing additional development back to the west. Certainly some large hail, heavy rain, a possibility as you get into the storm just north of Pontiac. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Livingston County as the storm begins to chug its way. And there, the National Weather Service has just now redefined that tornado warning for you. Let me zoom in and get a closer look. You can see that well-defined hook echo. That's what we look for to identify areas of rotation. Now, Cornell, glad to report that the rotation appears to be just off to your south and west. Here's a look at the couplet. It's starting to speed up a little bit, and it's starting to tighten up. Now just to the south and west, or south and east, excuse me, of Long Point. Pontiac, here's the distance before it gets to you. It is 10 to 12 miles now to your north and west, and that scan is just a few minutes, or is about a minute or two old, so it could actually be a little closer. We'll time it out for you once again in Pontiac. Though you are not included in the tornado warning, we are certainly seeing some healthy rotation there within that cell, and as we go up in elevation, the rotation is looking pretty good and pretty healthy. So we're getting a healthy tornado vortex signature, as we like to call it, just to the south and west of Cornell. We'll zoom back out to show you where the most dangerous part of the storm will be in just in the next 30 minutes. Storm tracking to the southeast at 35 miles per hour. That will put it in Pontiac around 10:20, plus or minus 2 or 3 minutes. Now, Pontiac, you are currently not included in this tornado warning, but we're still seeing some very healthy rotation as this cooler, moist air, and there we go. Now we have expanded that tornado warning. Pontiac, you are now included in this tornado warning. At 10:45 p.m., National Weather Service says they located a severe till 10:45 p.m. Excuse me, is when the warning is in effect till. But the storm is capable of producing a tornado near Flanagan or 8 miles northwest of Pontiac, moving southeast at 45. So it is now speeding up a little bit. Let's clear this out for you and retime it for you, Pontiac. Now's the time to seek shelter if you live in Pontiac. Let's go ahead and get to the lowest floor of your house or your apartment. If you do not have a basement, which is the preferred spot to be, you need to get to that lowest floor and into an interior room or closet. Row, the most dangerous part of the storm. The rotation will be near you at 10:12. Pontiac going with the faster speed of 45 miles per hour, now at 10:16. McDowell, 10:21. Forest, 10:36. That's what we have so far, and we have now a new updated radar. So we're going to flip back. There's the rotation within the cell. Again, green if you are curious and are about the relative velocity, green is moving north towards the Chicago radar site, red is moving away. So there's the rotation within the storm, and that just now updated as well. The rotation now is just south of Cornell. Map out the distance between Cornell and the heart of that. It is about 5 miles south-southwest. Pontiac, this is moving straight into town. That's how it looks right now. Pontiac needs to seek shelter immediately. That is what we are dealing with this particular tornado warning. Let me zoom back out a little bit, see if we can get Pontiac until 10:45. And additional information on the storm, because you're certainly getting a lot of rain, some wind, maybe even some hail currently moving through Pontiac. They're not indicating any particular hail size, but here's the thing, Pontiac, as the storm moves into town, you're probably not going to see much. First, it is dark out there, but the rain also is very heavy. And the way the storm is moving, as it is moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour, which is a very, very fast speed for this supercell. As soon as the rain clears, that's when the rotation, the couplet, is going to begin to move into town. So that's the time. Now's the time to seek shelter. Don't try to go outside and try to see this thing, because it's not going to happen. You won't have time to react if you do that. So tornado warning now for Livingston County, including Pontiac, until 10:45 p.m. and Owego as well is within that warning also. Fairbury not included in this particular warning, neither is Chinoa, but that could change as the storm continues to drift its way to the south and east. Storm now crossing I-55 Pontiac currently within this tornado warning, and that's the Pontiac. You're the area of most concern, as it looks to now be taking a trip straight for the Pontiac area. We do have some reports, those are old reports coming out of Bureau County, some wind damage of some possible storms, but those are further west. Let me see if we can get some additional velocity scope data for you. So there's an update. There's the rotation moving into Pontiac. I'll highlight the couplet again. I will circle the rotation. It is right here. The most dangerous part of the storm, if it moves to the southeast at 45 miles per hour, Pontiac, around 10:17, plus or minus a few minutes. Avoca, around 10:26. Fairbury, 10:31. And then it begins to cross 24. So that's what we are currently looking at. This is the strongest storm currently across all of central Illinois, and it's one we're going to continue to follow because the rotation appears to be tightening up, at least at times, just a little bit. So that is what we have, and still a nice, healthy hook looking on radar from this storm. So well-defined hook echo. Hail scope, hail size, not showing much in the way of well, there's hail, but our radar tends to overestimate that. So don't be surprised if we get nickel to quarter-size hail out of the storm, in addition to the threat of a tornado. Let me fire up the severe thunderstorm warnings if we have one. No severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect for that storm. It has been allowed to expire. The initial tornado warning until 10:15 p.m. has been replaced by the new tornado warning until 10:45 p.m. for Livingston County. This is cutting right through the heart of Livingston County, and it's going to be in Pontiac. Looks like you've got another 5 to 10 minutes. And we're going to err on the side of caution and call it 5 minutes before that storm is moving into Pontiac. The most dangerous part of this storm moving into Pontiac. So Pontiac, I cannot say this enough, you need to seek shelter now. Rotations appears to be tightening up on radar. At the time of this warning, which was issued at 10:03 p.m., it was located near Flanagan, or 8 miles northwest of Pontiac, moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. So Pontiac, it is now beginning to knock on your door. Now is the time to seek shelter. You need to get to an interior room, such as a bathroom or closet, or if you have a basement, that is where you want to be, in a sturdy building, and avoid windows. If you are in a mobile home or in a vehicle, you need to move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself. That is what we have currently from the National Weather Service. We do not have a confirmed tornado, but we are still seeing some very healthy rotation on radar with this particular storm. We'll go ahead and zoom back in. I want to show you that rotation again. For those of you not familiar with relative velocity, green is inbound, and by inbound it is moving towards the radar site. This sample is coming from the Chicago radar. So green is moving northbound. Red, of course, is moving southbound, and that is what we call a tornado vortex signature. That is the rotation as the storm now begins to work its way towards Pontiac at 45 miles per hour. So Pontiac, you no longer really have more than maybe a minute or two at this point. Also, interestingly enough, we could be seeing another couplet of sorts kind of developing here on the backside, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And that appears, that's an old report from earlier today. Sorry, we are continuing to get additional storm reports from storms earlier in the evening that moved through LaSalle County, and so that was what the buzzing you may have heard on my mic. Once again, we are still seeing more thunderstorms develop. For those of you further to the west, storms continue to fire up north of Chillicothe. Those are not severe. Storms along Interstate 80 are not severe, but we could get clipped by them. The strongest storm by far remains to be this storm moving through Livingston County. Tornado warning until 10:45 p.m. No confirmed tornado as of yet. It is radar indicated rotation. Pontiac, the storm is now bearing down on you. So please be seeking shelter. This is where you need to be until we give you the A-OK, which probably isn't going to happen at least until about 10:30. So keep that in mind. Seek shelter. Now the rain is clearing Pontiac. The wind is probably beginning to blow. I'm going to go ahead and highlight once again where we have that rotation. This should be updating here very shortly. There it goes. And that's a little messy, so I'm going to try to go to an elevated scan here to get a better look at that rotation. So there we have it, and it's going to be a little further east and a little closer to you, Pontiac. This is just now about to be pushing across I-55. So now is the time you need to get down to shelter. That is what we are currently seeing. Capable of producing a tornado, it is now just northeast of Pontiac. Now they've adjusted the speed again down to 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to retime this out for you, Pontiac.
We do have a Weather Service report of a funnel.
Okay, we now have a report of a funnel 7 miles west of Pontiac. Thank you very much, Rachel. It appears that the funnel has become less defined and is now more in bowl shape, but they do not think it is on the ground, but they can't see it. That is, you're not going to be able to see this, Pontiac. It's coming in. 10:21 is my estimate. Let's play it safe. Let's say 10:15. Is when it's coming in. So that is what we have. We are continuing to get additional reports. 7 miles northwest, 7 miles west of Pontiac on Highway 116 is where they reported that funnel. Whoa, there's the latest scan. We now have an updated scan here just west of Pontiac. Pontiac, it is there. You need to be underground or you need to be on the lowest floor of your building with this storm as it now begins to move into town. We'll get down to street level to give you a little idea of what you could be looking at with the rotation. For those of you in Pontiac, you're going to be very familiar with this area. All right, this is the historic Highway 66. This is East 1900 North Road, right here, which is where we are seeing the rotation. It is now beginning to push across I-55. So Pontiac needs to be seeking shelter. The entire town of Pontiac, Rowe getting some very strong winds. It looks like the brunt of the rotation is likely just to your south. Rowe, I would still be seeking shelter. Owego, you still have a few minutes before the storm arrives in your area, but you are next in line, followed by Avoca. That is what we currently have. So tornado warning for Pontiac, Livingston County until 10:45 p.m. We do have reports of a funnel cloud with this cell right along 116. But they cannot get a clean picture, a clear sight of if it was able to reach the ground or not. Hard to tell. You're getting a lot of rain. The rain has cleared Pontiac. Now the storm, the rotation, the funnel, the tornado, if it's there, is now moving in. We need you to be seeking shelter, and you need to stay there until you get the okay to leave. This warning is in effect until 10:45 p.m. For those in Pontiac, at least until 10:30, if not a little bit longer, until the storm completely blows over. And there's still more coming in from the northwest that we're going to have to keep a close eye on. Let me fire up throw on some storm reports, see if I don't think we have anything officially issued just yet. And he continues to report the funnel cloud. All right, Pontiac, the storm funnel reported. is there. Please seek shelter immediately as the storm now moves to the southeast at 45 miles per hour, or 40 miles per hour, excuse me. Pontiac, it is there now. You need to be seeking shelter. It is going to be near Avoca at 1028, Forest 1040, Chatsworth at 1047, and Germanville in the far southeast corner of Livingston County at 10:55 p.m. We now have a confirmed tornado. Again, confirmed tornado now moving into Pontiac. I reiterate, tornado now confirmed moving into Pontiac. Pontiac now needs to be underground. The storm is there. We will now be showing the rotation as the storm now begins to, that's the wrong one, I apologize about that. We're getting some updates here. The velocity is just lagging a little bit, so bear with me while we get our latest scan in. But the rotation now in a confirmed tornado appears to be in progress. I do not have the confirmed tornado. Is not being reported to be in Pontiac, but I'm judging by radar location. It is over Pontiac, now southeast at 45 miles per hour. Tornado now confirmed in Pontiac in Livingston County. A tornado warning until 10:45 p.m. We'll use our scope to identify if we can see any debris balls, which is going to indicate exactly where that tornado is at. Storm Chaser reports tornado at 10:15. Pontiac, it is there. The tornado is now moving through Pontiac. Storm moving off to the south and southeast at 40 to 45 miles per hour. From Pontiac, it is then going to be moving into McDowell, 1023, Forest, 1037, Chatsworth, 1044. Want to get back down to show the rotation within the storm and see if we can get some better ground truth here and try to identify at least some streets for you. But I would say all of Pontiac needs to be in their shelter now. A lot of power flashes now being reported in Pontiac from Illinois 47. Power flashes now in Pontiac. Tornado is in progress. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10:45 p.m. That is what we are currently seeing. If we'll get some official, looks like we do have some official storm reports. I will throw those up for you. That's where the last report was. The tornado is now in Pontiac. We have confirmed power flashes in Pontiac. So we now have a confirmed tornado, and it could be a large one moving through Pontiac. Shelter now, if you're not already, especially if you are just east of Pontiac, it is now moving towards you. Pontiac, you are still under the threat. Stay in your shelter until further notice. Apologize for the silence there. I'm just trying to readjust our scan. And it could potentially, I don't have a confirm as to large cone tornado in progress. Large cone. That is the report now from a storm spotter who is watching this from I-55. Large cone tornado in progress in Pontiac. We'll see if we can get a sample here from the correlation coefficient to exactly identify where that tornado is. See if we have any debris. No debris, but we do have a large cone tornado in progress according to our storm spotters. 10:17 p.m. tornado near Pontiac. So tornado warning in effect for Livingston County until 10:45 p.m. We're going to stay on this storm until it leaves Livingston County. Fairbury, you're going to be next. We're going to see how far south that storm makes it. I'll time it out for you. It's moving to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. And in fact, let me zoom out for you so we can get a much larger sample here. I would rather warn more people and be safe and see what we can get you there. Our McDowell, 1023, Forest, 1036. I will zoom out again. All right, Pontiac, it's there. Avoca, 1029, February, 1034, according to my latest jog. And I would give yourself an extra an extra 5 minutes and be prepared. So whatever times I'm spouting off here, subtract 5 minutes from it. just to give yourself a little extra leeway. So Fairbury, 1034, 1029 is when I want you to think that that dangerous part of the storm is moving in. You're going to get some rain, you're going to get hail, you're going to get a lot of wind ahead of the tornado itself. But as soon as the rain ends, as soon as the hail ends, that's when the tornado is there. You're not going to have much time to react at that point. That's why you need to be seeking shelter immediately as soon as the storm moves in. The tornado warning does not include Avoca, does not include Fairbury, does not include Risk, but we could see this with a tornado in progress, this warning likely extended. Apologize for the map moving. I'm trying to get a better handle on the exact location of this of the rotation. So we're still awaiting another update from our velocity data. This is storm relative velocity. Let me see if I can switch over to base velocity to see if we can better identify the potential couplet with this, the tornado vortex signature, and that's even harder to read. So we're going to keep it here. Let me go back up and see if we can find some elevated rotation. It's not going to get much better than that. That's our current picture. So last report we had was a large cone tornado in progress with more flashes coming from Pontiac. The airport station in Pontiac reported a gust of nearly 60 miles per hour coming in from the north-northeast. That is from the airport. That is the automated system. But we are getting reports of a tornado in Pontiac with power flashes, which means it has done damage. And let me fire up.
Chris, while you're doing that, I can jump in for a second.
Yep.
If we want to take a look at Max 2, I'm over in the Weather Center as well, helping to track these storms, and we have some storm reports. We've had quite a few storm reports across central Illinois. If we zoom out, you can see this event really started further north, but of course the storm that we're tracking now is the one moving through Livingston County in this tornado-warned storm. And all of the icons that we have showing up here mean that we do have confirmed reports. So this is now, it started as a radar indicated storm, and now we're moving on to a confirmed tornado report. So again, just reiterating that we do have touchdown if you're in the area of this tornado warned storm as it's moving to the to the southeast at 45 miles per hour. This is the time where you want to take shelter. This is a time to go to the basement of your house if you do have one. If you don't, head to a room with an interior room without access to windows and doors. If we take a look at the timing, the most recent report is this one here just over Pontiac at 10:17, so just 5 minutes ago, we had a report of the tornado that did touch down in that area. And of course, that started just further to the northwest, a little bit to the northwest of Pontiac as well. Started as a funnel cloud, and it looks like Chris wants to take back over. We do have another warning that was just issued. That's right. They've expanded that warning now. If we can switch back over to Max 1, that warning has now been expanded. Now includes Fairbury, Chatsworth, Avoca, and Forest until 11 p.m. A confirmed tornado in Pontiac. That is what we have now. We have storm spotters relaying that information. It is now official. We do have power lines likely down as we saw power flashes. That is in Livingston County. So tornado warning in effect for Livingston County until 11 p.m. Confirmed reports of that funnel. Rachel, if you could do me a favor and push that to our social media pages, thank you very much. You can always follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates as well. And we are also live streaming this coverage. It is on our website. So if you are losing power, if you are in Livingston County and you need to continue to get warnings and you have no way of doing that, you can follow us on your mobile device or your computer. New power flashes continuing. All of Pontiac is now reportedly out of power, and a tornado is on the ground. That is coming from the EM in Livingston County. This is a serious situation now. Pontiac appears to have taken a hit. We don't know to what extent the damage is, but all the power is out in Pontiac. And we're going to, now that we have this new warning, and I'm going to go ahead
And I'll leave the storm reports there so folks can see where we have those latest reports of tornadoes. But I'm also now going to jump ahead, and there's the tornado vortex signature. This is the couplet we talk about of the rotation. Green, that's air and wind moving to the north. Red, air, wind moving back to the south. This is the tornado. It's a very large signature. Now, the tornado itself likely a bit smaller, but we have had reports of a large cone tornado, reported power flashes in Pontiac. Storm moving to the southeast, 40 to 45 miles per hour. Now we'll retime out where that threat is going to end. This is until 11 p.m. tonight in central and eastern portions of Livingston County. We'll track the storm, the couplet, to the southeast. It is going to be near Avoca at 1029, Wing 1036, Forest 1039. Confirmed tornado, this is just reiterating what we've already said. Confirmed tornado now located near Pontiac. Let me see if we have anything else. Nope, that appears to be it. Moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. We did get a late new scan. Pontiac. I know a lot of you have lost power, perhaps are watching now through our live stream. It appears that the worst of it, at least the tornado, is now off to your southeast. All right, welcome our Fox viewers. Welcome you to watching our continuing coverage of severe weather moving through Livingston County. Tornado warning until 11 p.m. We have had confirmed reports of a large tornado in Pontiac, a large cone tornado. Let me get a new scan. We're still awaiting for an update on the velocity data, but judging by the reflectivity, I can now tell you that the tornado is likely just to the southeast of Pontiac now, if it is indeed still on the ground. And it's going to be heading towards Chatsworth. Fairbury, it appears to be passing likely to your north, but sometimes these storms do make jogs to the south. That is what we are dealing with. Tornado warning confirmed. Large tornado. Power flashes reported in Pontiac. Power is out in Pontiac. Confirmed reports of a large cone touching down in the Pontiac area. So tornado warning until 11 p.m.
And we do want to just share with you that we now have a team heading out to Pontiac to see the damage. We're going to have updates for you online as we get them. Looks like it's going to be probably at least half an hour before our team does make it to the location. And of course, we want them to stay safe as well, not drive into the tornado. But we'll have updates on our website, ciproud.com, later tonight, and on WMBD and WYZZ News tomorrow, as well as we continue to track these storms and the damage. This has been a serious event for us here tonight, although most of the damage started in our northern counties, now working its way through Livingston County. And so we're still tracking this tornado warning for southeastern Livingston County that's in effect until 11 p.m. And this was with, as Chris has been mentioning and following, a confirmed tornado, possibly a large tornado moving through Pontiac, the entire town right now without power. Hard to say if that was just one major power line that's down or if it's been causing extensive damage. A lot of this is rain wrapped and of course happening at night, so we don't want people going out. This is a time where you want to go into an interior room of your home and make sure that you're staying away from windows and doors. I'm going to toss it back to Chris.
Thank you very much, Rachel. A new report, this one just, we have a confirmed another report of a tornado 3 miles southeast of Pontiac, so it appears to still be on the ground as it moves away from Pontiac. Here's what we have, a new local storm. This is the new storm report, Pontiac. Fire Department rescue reports tornado at 10:20 p.m. Gas station canopy on top of a semi-truck. Light pulled down on I-55 exit. So we now have confirmed damage reports in the Pontiac area. And it is now moving back into rural portions of Livingston County. Those of you who live anywhere southeast of Pontiac needs to be seeking shelter now. The following locations I will go ahead and highlight again with our storm cone. I'm going to zoom out and include more locations here. Here we go, taking the storm where it's at. Avoca, 1032. It is there. Seek shelter now. The storm is now moving on top of you. You need to be in your shelter, preferably in a basement. Forest, 1041. I would take that as 10. Give yourself, get shelter now. Don't even wait. Just seek shelter now. Chatsworth, 1048. Lyman, 1101. That's now moving. That'll be moving out of Livingston County and then off into Wall. So it looks like the storm will likely be clearing out of Livingston County shortly before 11 p.m. That is what we currently have on this storm. Storm relative velocity and even our correlation coefficient scope may be able to tell us if we have had debris. So excuse me while I pop up something here that you guys are not going to be all familiar with, but this is going to help me. Oh yeah, this is not what I want to see. Well, that could be a potential debris ball, but it's dark. It's hard to see. If we see blues and stuff such as this, I'll kind of move it up a little bit here. That could be a sign of a debris ball. That is debris being lofted up into the air from the tornado. That's what we could be seeing there. That would confirm a tornado on the ground and possibly give us an idea of how big it was. All right, let's fast forward back to where we are now. I don't see any debris ball signature, so that's good.
We did have, Chris, just another report come in, just re-emphasizing power flashes are what happens when a tornado will take down power lines and the electricity is still sparking within the storm. We've had quite a few reports of power flashes with this tornado that has been reported touched down. So we just had a report that says there are more flashes north of Fairbury. Appears to be a large stovepipe, but the contrast isn't good. In other words, it's hard to see the storm because it's so dark out. Lightning flashes and power flashes can sometimes help illuminate where you're seeing the storm, but this has been confirmed. And just again to reemphasize, one of our stronger evidence reports shows that there was a gas station canopy on top of a semi-truck, light pole down on an I-55 exit, and it looks like we just got another report of damage at a trailer park with reports of people trapped. So this is serious now. People are trapped, no indication if they have been injured, but we do have reports of people trapped. This is again right outside Pontiac, and that report came in from the fire department and rescue squad. So we're having a lot of reports of damage as this is working its way through the Pontiac area. We're going to take another look at radar here. You can see that that storm is working its way through central Illinois. Chris has been tracking it as well, and he's showing both the radar and the velocity, strong inbound and outbound winds, evidence of that rotation. You can see that continuing to track to the southeast at about 45 miles per hour. Chris?
All right, thanks, Rachel. So here's the latest scan. You mentioned those power flashes just north of Fairbury. Here's the tornado. We still have a healthy tornado vortex signature as it is now cleared Pontiac. Pontiac, you have another storm coming in. It is not warned. All right, it is not warned. This is continuing to warn. We do have confirmed reports of a tornado still on the ground just north of Fairbury, tracking to the south and east at 45 miles per hour. We'll go ahead and retract this. I also want to sample some of the storms moving back into Pontiac. Cornell picking up some very heavy rain currently. And the storm's 7 miles. The tornado is confirmed now 7 miles north of Fairbury. And I will use my scope here to see if we can get a better idea if there's any additional concern back here to the west. We are still seeing some rotation here, Pontiac, but it is not very strong. Pontiac, if you are still in a shelter, I would just remain there until this next one blows through. It is not as strong as the one that just came through. So there's the tornado vortex signature just north of Fairbury. Storm moving to the southeast at 40 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. And if I were to track this out, and I got to clear our scope. We track this out. Forest 1042, Serial 1049, and Germanville 1057. So that is the current timing here on this storm. This storm has produced tornadoes in, or at least a large tornado, I should